Today I'm going to be talking about Moose Jaw, Alberta, Canada, North America, Earth. Alright, so if you've been watching my vlogs, you would know that last week I got a postcard from Axe Moose, Dave, in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Now, with that postcard came a letter, and I got his permission to read this, and he says it's not really a big deal since it's on the City of Moose Jaw's website, but I'm going to read it anyway. It's basically a history of Moose Jaw, and it's actually pretty interesting. It's 2 pages long, so please bear with me. Now, get right into it here. Okay, Aboriginal history. Moose Jaw was originally settled as a traditional Indian fur traders camp at The Turn, known as Kingsway Park today. A narrow crossing of the river, plenty of water, and game for food made this an ideal place for settlement. It was a winter encampment for both Cree and Assiniboine nations, and there are burial grounds in the vicinity. The natural protection of the Coteau Range provided the valley with many warm breezes. The name Moose Jaw comes from a Cree name for the place, Moskansanissipi. Hopefully I pronounced that right, meaning a warm place by the river. The first 2 syllables, Muska, sounded remarkably like Moose Jaw. During the fur trade era, Métis buffalo hunters and wintering cabins in the river valley at The Turn, where the fur trail from Fort Garry forged Moose Jaw Creek. Very interesting stuff. Post-settlement history, 1881 to 1900. In July 1881, James Ross and Hector Sutherland were exploring for land that they felt sure would be the choice of the Canadian Pacific Railway for a divisional point. The juncture of Moose Jaw and Thunder Creek was the best place to cross the river valley, and there was an abundant water supply for steam locomotives. They registered the town site with the domain. I can't talk right now. They registered the town site with the Dominion government and organized a permanent settlement. Permanent settlement began in 1882 when James Ross and his party of 4 arrived from Winnipeg, that's where I live, on January 2nd. A third group from Ontario, led by Henry Battle, joined Ross's settlement in the spring of 1882 on May 24th. Interesting. The construction of the CPR was 7,600 men and 1,700 teams of horses proceeded west from Portage la Prairie, Manitoba, close to where I live. They reached the settlement site of Moose Jaw in July of 1882. The first small work train arrived in Moose Jaw on September 6, 1882. The first combined work/passenger train arrived December 10, 1882. It was April 1st, 1883 before the first scheduled passenger train arrived in Moose Jaw. By 1885, the CPR construction crews had all passed through Moose Jaw. In fact, the CPR was completed nationally on November 7, 1885. Wow. At the end of 1882, Moose Jaw's business center consisted of 5 ragged tents. Growth slowed during the winter, but in the spring of 1883, the population increased rapidly. By March, Moose Jaw had 4 stores and 30 other buildings. those being mostly tents. By the end of March, there were 6 stores, 5 saloons, 1 drugstore, 2 blacksmiths, 3 hotels, and 40 houses. And I really wish I had little pictures to pop up to show you guys, but I can't find any. I don't know. Not really that talented with editing, so sorry. Anyway, the town, after the first 1882-83 population boom, experienced a dwindling population due to 3 years of crop failures. From 1885 to 1889, Moose Jaw's population remained stagnant. It wasn't until 1890 that the town started to grow again. Yay! Northwest Rebellion. By 1885, Moose Jaw was a major settlement. In addition to the homestead population and railway workers, there was an adjacent Sioux village located in Kingsway Park, now known as Connors Park. The village was small, about 115 people living in 28 lodges. The Sioux had retreated with Sitting Bull from Montana and the battle with General Custer. I always thought that was Custard. I thought wrong all these years, I guess. There was a concern among white settlers that the Sioux might join the rebellion in support of the Métis, but this did not happen. In the summer of 1885, Moose Jaw was a provisional home for a supply battalion of 390 soldiers from Halifax. They were sent west by the Dominion government to guard supplies and communication routes. This aided in quelling the Northwest Rebellion, led by Louis Riel. I know, it's, when they're spelled like that, you kind of tend to pronounce them differently, but it's Louis Riel and Gabriel Dumont. Sisters of the Anglican Order of St. John the Divine established a base hospital during the rebellion. They cared for sick and wounded from the battles of Batoche and Fish Creek in a crude 40-bed facility on Main Street. Many of the younger male homesteaders found work hauling supplies north to the battlefront. Fire of 1891. Ooh, fire. I was once in a fire, almost died. Ask me about it. Maybe I'll put it in one of these vlogs. I don't know. Anyway, the fire of 1891. A major fire in 1891 wiped out 17 businesses and a church on Main Street. This incident, coupled with earlier fires, caused the town to make brick or stone construction mandatory. A small brick kiln, established in 1890 by Jimmy Brass, flourished. He sold his brickyard and went to the United States in the autumn of 1896. In 1898, Wellington White owned what is now River Park Campground, and his home was located at what later became known as Aldersgate College, Dean's Residence. He also began his brickyard in the same year, and it ran until approximately 1916. His office was located at what is currently John's Music. WWMJ was stamped into his bricks. This is part of the reason there are so many early red brick heritage properties today in downtown Moose Jaw. Interesting. The Boom Era, 1900 to 1920. The rapid settlement after the turn of the century brought Moose Jaw to prominence in Western Canada and ushered in a commercial and industrial boom period. The town council sought and gained city status in November 1903. As the homesteads spread south and west, Moose Jaw became the wholesale distribution center for a large trading area and began processing of agricultural products. The railway connects east, west, and south, drew numerous manufacturing industries, and identified Moose Jaw as the leading industrial center of the province. Wow. Now that's very interesting. Thank you very much for sending me that, Dave. And incidentally, by sending me this, it actually gave Jasmine an idea. Now, she writes letters to pen pals all around the world, right? So she's basically thinking maybe she should do something like this. You know, go on our city webpage and write out a few facts like this about the city, and then print it out, and then have like tons of copies of it, so that she can send new and old and whatever, send them to her pen pals. So thank you very much, Dave, and thank you for the idea for Jasmine. Now she has something else to put into her letters for her pen pals. Yeah, I guess that's it. If you've never heard of Moose Jaw, before, now you do. Wait a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, I was wrong. Little part before the intro there, I said Moose Jaw, Alberta. No, it just shows that I don't know my geography that well. Moose Jaw is in Saskatchewan. So, yeah, duh. I think I had too many Slurpees, brain freeze. But no, okay, so Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, Canada. I don't know. That's weird. How I would just totally... Yeah, look it up. But yeah, like if you've never heard of it before... There you go. It's a little brief history about Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, Canada. Yeah. So there you go, and enjoy the rest of your day. And what is that? What do I usually say at the end of every video? That's right. Take it easy.